All right. And we're back with new video. Recaps and recaps. Because we're ridiculous and
well, you were sick.
Life happened. And so we just haven't been on a regular schedule to get any videos or any podcast episodes pushed out. But with some work schedule changes coming, hopefully we'll get a little bit better. Right, babe?
Right.
Stop working on Pathfinder stuff. We're doing sports now.
I was doing that.
What? No, we're doing sports. You said you were ready to stream.
I didn't.
I asked if you were ready, and you said yes. This is what I deal with. Like, I don't get it. Okay. So, week 8. I did horrible with my picks. I think. Pretty sure I did. Okay, we both know the Giants lost. That was a horrible Monday night game. That was on the Manicast, wasn't it? Like, right?
They took a couple weeks break. I know that.
That was the Manicast. That was the week that Eli and Strahan were just like, "What are you doing?" I'm sorry. I'm going to need Eli and Strahan to be part of the coaching team. Like, straight up. Like, it needs to happen. So can you pull up scores? Or pull up the scores for week 8. So that we can see where our picks were. And then, do you not have the ESPN app? Okay. Bills. Okay. Yeah, we got. All right. So. What week was that I did all those questions? Week 2. Okay. What game was do you think was the biggest upset for you? I'm going to say the Jets and the Bengals.
Yeah, they won that. That's really the only one. I mean, Saints. Yeah, they had no business winning that one either.
How do you figure that?
Well, they had the quarterbacks. Trevor Simeon played. That's the game Jameis Winston went out. Simeon came in.
No. Midnight. Crazy cat.
I'm not sure if Alvin Kamara's even played since then.
Nice. Alex stopped by to leave us a comment on our last one, our last video. Thanks, Alex. We love you. You the best. So what would you say was your would that game also fall under your biggest surprise?
What? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have expected Buccaneers to walk away with this one.
Okay. Let's see. I'm still gonna say that the Jets game was my biggest surprise, just because it's the Jets. And they should, I'm sorry, they shouldn't have beaten the Bengals like that. Like, no. It just,
I think that was Mike White's coming out party.
yeah. So I just, let's see. I think another big surprise for me that week was I didn't know that Philly could score that high of points.
Well, he played the Lions.
But still, regardless, I didn't realize that they were capable of scoring that high of points.
They're all rushing touchdowns, too.
My point exactly. I rest my case.
No interceptions. 3 field goals. They only punted once.
What is your stance on Hurts as the quarterback going forward in Philly?
I think sometimes when you watch him play, it hurts.
Midnight.
Just stay here.
Okay, can I get a real answer?
I haven't really watched him enough to really know how he plays. All I know is he came from Oklahoma. That's about all I know about him.
Thanks, Midnight. You ruined the podcast, so now I'm gonna have to figure something else out, or just restart it. So
It's on YouTube.
yeah, just move the phone into my lap
What are you doing?
so that the podcast doesn't get messed up again. As, animals are mean. Okay. Was there any game out of these that did not surprise you?
Packers game.
The Bills game didn't surprise me. I expected them to win that one.
I figured they were going to knock off the Cardinals for the perfect season.
Yeah, I didn't think that the Packers were going to do it, but they did. So sad.
I guess I should have saw the Seahawks and Jaguars game coming too. $31-7.
I mean, I feel like that was a gimme game for
Seattle.
Yeah.
It was.
I don't even remember if it was like a bad football week. I know there were bad calls. There's always bad calls. Every week. Every single week. Bad calls. Constantly. I already know what you're going to say to this. Biggest heartbreak.
I don't want to talk about it.
Steelers and Browns game.
Yeah. Baker played so good that game, but once again, his receivers failed to catch the ball. Let's take a look at his stats.
Artemis, get out of the trash.
$20 for 31, 200 yards, no tutties or ints.
And you guys just heard the Huskapop.
And there are a couple catches, like Landry had a catch at he ended up fumbling.
Right. I remember that one. You were
It wasn't a good game.
Just about every Giants game is heartbreaking for me at this point. Every win is a surprise. I'll just say that right now. I'm going to skip the biggest takeaways for weeks 8, 9, 10.
Maybe even 11.
And 11 because can't really remember all those. So let's get to
Week 9.
Yes. Biggest upset? Are you on week 9
yep.
now?
Right now it's looking like Titans and Rams. Broncos, Cowboys.
That one was my biggest surprise.
Giants and Raiders. Oh, no, Jacksonville and Bills. Biggest upset. Hold the Bills only 6
That was the
points.
biggest upset, but the biggest surprise was
Bills and Jaguars. They only held the Bills to 6 points.
Oh yeah, that was. But I mean, to be fair, Josh Allen was on the Manning cast the week before, and everybody's talking about the Manning curse, and well, it exists because Josh Allen was on the Manning cast the week before, and the Bills lost the following week.
Was Jarvis Landry on the cast last week?
No.
Oh. What about Njoku? Because he dropped all kinds of balls.
Nope. It was Bill Parcells, Kevin Hart, Condoleezza Rice,
Fuck you. Oh, Condoleezza Rice. That's why the Browns lost.
and Julian Edelman.
Condoleezza Rice was a favorite for the Browns head coach a couple years back. She's also a Cleveland fan. The curse is alive still.
Oh.
It claims its victim. Thanks, Condoleezza Rice. It's the best gift you ever given Baltimore. Okay, anyway. Biggest surprise for me, still Jaguars and Bills. I mean, only looks like 5 field goals.
Yeah, it was a very field goal happy game.
Josh Allen was 30 for 41 and 2 ints. Trevor Lawrence and CJ Beathard both played.
Yeah. Only because at one point,
I think that's the game that Trevor Lawrence got injured.
yes.
And CJ Beathard was 100% completion percentage. He only
Yep.
threw 2 passes, but
For a combined total of 33 yards. Game that was no surprise for you. Oh, biggest surprise for me, Falcons Saints.
that's a 2-point game.
It's still the Falcons beating the Saints.
Biggest upset? What were you talking about? Question?
What was not the biggest surprise for you?
Oh. Patriots.
I'm gonna say the Chargers.
You could also say the biggest upset too was Browns and Bengals. Considering they only held them 16 points.
Yeah, that game was very one-sided. The sportsbook was very quiet.
I mean, you count passes, all passes completed. Joe Burrow completed 30 passes. One of them was a 99-yard pick six. Take my victories.
He's rotten.
Cardinals and 49ers, that wasn't surprising to me either.
Steelers and Bears. I mean,
Well, no,
I was surprised that it was a
Yeah.
2-point game.
Yeah.
Biggest heartbreak.
Bears. If you're a Bears fan, that's a heartbreak for you. The whole to be in a lead and then lose to a field goal at the very end. That's a good way you played. Yeah, it's
Yep.
pretty heartbreaking. Vikings too. They lost in overtime after coming back to tie the game.
Yep.
So
That Vikings game was.
pretty much the whole NFC North lost that week.
Yep.
I can't find the Lions, but I know they lost because they didn't win. They might have been on a bye. They still lost.
Okay, so
There is a big takeaway from.
yeah, they were on a bye.
There's
So
a takeaway from week 9.
what's that?
Well, Rodgers isn't vaccinated. So he missed.
Yeah, the 4 teams that were on a bye for that were Lions, Seahawks, Bucks, and Washington.
Week 10.
Bears, Bengals, Giants, Texans are all on a bye.
Oh, I was saying move on to week 10?
Yes. Okay, biggest upset.
Lions. Yeah, Lions.
Yeah, that tie.
Oh, actually, no. Biggest upset? Dolphins.
Yes. Okay,
Well,
biggest upset is
Panthers and Cardinals.
okay.
Rams and 49ers. There's a couple on here.
I don't find the Niners and the Rams as too much of a upset though.
Rams should be able to put up more than 10 points though.
But the way that they played historically against the Niners.
Yeah, but I mean, you have Matt Stafford, who everyone is like is such a good quarterback, and suddenly he can't play the game anymore. He threw 2 interceptions, nearly 50%, less than 50% completion percentage. Whereas Jimmy Garoppolo only missed 4 passes for less than 200 yards. Matt Stafford threw for almost 250. And they had a lot of offense going on here, but only 10 points.
Yeah, well. Game that was no surprise, like, a no-brainer.
Cowboys.
Yep. I will say, I didn't realize the Cowboys could score that high either.
I also want to say Washington beating the Bucks was a upset too.
That was a surprise.
I love it that the Lions had a bye week and the best they can do is tie.
Yeah, well,
Oh, everyone on that team's getting fired.
Maybe not.
Yeah, the Water Boys are safe.
I feel like look at how long Matt Patricia was head coach of the Lions.
Matt Patricia never has at least won a game by this point.
Artemis. She's trying to get the block. Crazy pup. Yeah, okay. He's won a okay, Matt Patricia did win games, but I don't think that he really had like the same heart and motivation that the current head coach does. Because if you watch like 2 or 3 interviews back, you see how heartbroken he is for his team. So, like, he's hurt with like how close his team is getting to winning, and they still lose, by a field goal or, whatnot. So let's see.
I can't really think of like the most heartbreaking game on this, just based off the numbers. Patriots putting 45 down on my Browns was pretty heartbreaking, but that's just for me.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these were kind of close. I mean, I don't know when.
Saints and Titans game was heartbreaking.
So I'm guessing it was the last second field goal.
Yep.
So
Yep, that's what did it.
it could be it.
Yeah. On to week 11. And we've got the Broncos and Rams on a bye. What was the week that you did
It was like 2 weeks ago from when we last streamed.
Oh. Okay. Week 11. Biggest upset.
I'm
gonna say the Colts and the Bills.
Texans. Titans. The Colts at least are playing competitively, and they have been all year.
True. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Texans.
Yeah, that's fair. Because nobody really expected the Texans to win any games. Biggest surprise?
Eagles put up 40 on the Saints.
Yeah. The fact that the Saints basically couldn't put up any more points until the fourth quarter. They scored in the first quarter and couldn't score again until the fourth quarter when they scored 22 unanswered points to lose by 11 was just ridiculous.
You might need to go out.
Okay, because I would take them out. I'll do the recaps until you get back.
That's no poo-poos.
Yeah. So take them out. I'll keep recapping.
Game that wasn't a surprise.
Bengals and the Raiders.
Nope.
Bucks and Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, saw that coming. I mean, even though we all would have loved for the Giants to beat the Bucks, Tom Brady owns the Giants in the regular season. And I'm saying that as a Giants fan. So, I mean, I love my Giants.
Is it cold out?
Yeah. It's a cold wind. I was complaining about that on the phone. I swear he doesn't listen to me. And I've been married to him for almost 3 years now. With him for almost 5. And of course, he breaks out his Green Bay socks. So, let's see. We said no surprise. Biggest heartbreak. If you're a Cowboys fan, that would have been the biggest heartbreak.
Lions.
But
Lions should have won that game. They played awful that game. Baker was so disappointed by his play, he didn't even stay on the field.
There's a lot of games that the Lions should have won.
Biggest heartbreak season? Lions.
Yeah. Again, blown calls. There's blown calls in every game. There's been injuries upon injuries upon injuries all season long. The Giants finally moved on from Jason Garrett. I saw that coming. Now, if they can just get rid of the defensive coordinator, David Gettleman.
There's rumors going around David Gettleman might be out after the season anyway.
I mean, that would be great.
Oh.
I actually saw an article earlier when I was looking something up. Devin and Colton, after I told them my Karen story from earlier today. Oh, yeah. Remind me to tell you about that. It was great. So let me see if I can find it again. Interesting. Okay. So, no surprise that the Patriots put up 25 points on the Falcons. I honestly expected more points to be put up. The Falcons could not score on the Patriots at all. Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing for them. Let's see. The Bengals and Raiders game. That was a really good win for the Bengals. Going into Vegas and winning the way they did. I feel like the Chiefs and Cowboys game was a really lopsided game because you look at, the score, 19-9. Neither quarterback played their just outright best. And then, Dallas could not get anything going on offense at all in that game. It was bad. Let's see. Yeah, during the Giants game, there's just one point where you just take the sack. And Jones threw like the perfect interception instead of taking the sack. And if I could figure out how to like put the video in, to like show you guys, like I would, but you can find it on YouTube, you can find it on ESPN. It was just take the sack at that point. Like, it was basically, here you go. Well, I mean, like, obviously he threw it, but like, why? What's the point? Take the sack versus the turnover. At least that's what I would have done. Ooh. And that game marked the Giants' 10th straight loss in primetime. Andrew Thomas caught a touchdown. And I have got to say, that was the funniest touchdown celebration by a lineman that I have ever seen. That was, I was like, what did Kevin Hart say? It was like the funky chicken or something. It was, God, it was hilarious. Okay. So I'm going to wait on week 12 recaps until Philip gets back in, just because I want to talk about those games with him. But in other sports news that I can go ahead and talk about, the Mets finally have a new GM. And so far, I am impressed with a couple of the signings that he's made. Let's see if I can bring this up. I know let's see. So the Mets have signed Nick Plummer, Eduardo Escobar, Starling Marte, and they have one more. Mark Canha. So, okay, yeah. Starling Marte is 33 and kind of getting up there for a baseball player, but he can still produce numbers and he can still play the outfield really well. So if the Mets end up not re-signing Conforto, which it's really starting to look that way, that they're not going to re-sign Conforto, I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, Conforto's been up and down, and he hasn't been consistent, really. Like when he's on it, and when he's not, obviously. The Mets have also lost Noah Syndergaard. I was upset about that, but then I talked with Devin, my friend and coworker, and the way that he had explained it to me, I was like, I'm not mad anymore. And then the Mets also lost Aaron Loop. He was an amazing reliever throughout last season. So I was pretty upset that we did not re-sign him and lost him to free agency. So the Mets really need to find a star reliever to take his place. I'm kind of curious to see what the Angels are doing, considering that they signed Syndergaard to a 1-year, $21 million deal, and he's only pitched 2 pitches in 2 years because he's been injured. He had Tommy John surgery, he pitched 2 pitches. He's pitched 2 innings in 2 years. That to me doesn't sound like it's worth $21 million. The Mets extended the qualifying offer, and he had given this whole spiel about how he couldn't imagine himself anywhere else. He couldn't see himself wearing another uniform. He wanted to be a Met for life and blah, blah, blah. Completely duped the Met fan base. So there's a lot of pissed off Met fans. And rightfully so. But, yeah, that's that. Let's see. Looks like Kevin Gossman is signing with the Blue Jays. 5 years, $110 million deal. Not bad. A lot of people were wanting the Mets to get him because he could have added a lot of depth to the Mets rotation for sure, especially with us still having Jacob deGrom, which I'm so upset that he basically did not pitch the second half of the season. The Rays have added Corey Kluber on a 1-year deal. Let's see. Rangers have added Marcus Semien with a 7-year, $175 million deal. And then they have added John Gray to their rotation. And the Marlins are nearing an extension with Sandy Alcantara. So, and back to the Mets real quick. apparently Steven Matz wanted to come back to the Mets, and then like the next day he signed with the Cardinals. Like, what? Don't say that you want to come back to play with the Mets and then the next day sign with another team. That's shady as fuck. And don't call out the team owner for, calling out your agent. I mean, the agent called out the team owner for calling him out, basically, is what happened. And yeah, you deserve to be called out because of how you handled the whole situation. Like, you got your player involved, obviously didn't get the results you wanted, and you have your player sign with another team basically the next day. That's really shady. So, yeah. But Billy Epler, he's making some good choices so far. They definitely need to re-sign Stroman. If not, I'm really going to be pissed. I'm a little on the fence about Javi Baez. Still think he's a head case. Still think he's a drama queen. Bryce Harper won NL MVP. Whatever. Just because he plays for a rival team. But he is a phenomenal baseball player. And that's a sports fan in me. Giving kudos and credit where credit is due. If he didn't sign that deal with Philly, I would love for him to be on the Mets because he is a phenomenal player. And then Shohei Ohtani unanimously won AL MVP, and he rightfully deserves that. Moving on to college football. So I'm not going to recap the weeks that I've missed because that's just too much. This past Saturday or yesterday was rivalry week. I don't know why that was such a tongue twister for me, but it is. Had some pretty interesting games, to say the least. So let's go to Saturday. Yeah, so Georgia Tech was the home team, right? Tell me why the home team scored a big old goose egg. And Georgia put up 45 on them. And then the game. The Ohio State and Michigan. Michigan finally snapped their losing streak against Ohio State. They also never lost the lead in that game. Ohio State trailed them every single bit of that game. Baylor beat Texas Tech. Wake Forest put the whooping on Boston College. Florida beat Florida State. Even though Florida State almost came back and won after being down by 3 scores. They only lost by a field goal. I have to say I'm proud. Ish. Do better. Of course, Miami beat the tar out of Duke. And guess what? Duke head coach and the university are mutually parting ways now. Alabama and Auburn. What in the hell happened with that game? Auburn was winning. And then Alabama magically just, okay, now we're going to start playing. And then 4 overtimes? What? Oregon beat Oregon State. Michigan State, even with all the flu outbreak that hit them just literally recently, they were missing like 6 to 8 players. They were missing coaching staff. They still managed to beat Penn State. I mean, yeah, by a field goal, but they still won. Purdue and IU. IU barely showed up for the game. Sorry, Philip. I don't know where you're at, but yeah, sorry. 44-7. That sucks. Tennessee beat Vanderbilt. I had no Tennessee could score that much. I'm sorry to all my friends from Tennessee. I love you guys. Let's see. So Philip has become a fan of Oklahoma because guess what? Baker Mayfield. So I kept telling him Oak State was gonna win. He's like, no, they're not. Oklahoma is gonna beat Oak State. I was like, no. It's not gonna happen. Hey, Philip.
Yeah.
Can you get me some tea?
Tea?
Yes. I have a cup.
You want these? No.
So anyway, I keep telling him Oak State's gonna win. He's like, no, it's not gonna happen. Oklahoma's gonna win. My cup's right over here.
I'll have to make more tea.
There was plenty yesterday. Anyway.
It wasn't actually. Do we have any more of the Southers? The lemon sweet?
No.
No.
Is there any in the container?
No, the tea's out. You want pink lemonade?
You used what was left in the container?
Oh, no. I thought you meant the pitcher.
Is there no more in the pitcher?
No.
Okay, then use what's in the container.
Okay.
So anyway, we go back and forth for days about this game. I mean, I have no dog in this fight, but it's fun to tease my husband. I love it. So at one point, he texts me while he's at work. He's like, OU's piling it on. So I pull up the score. It's a 2-point game. So I text him back. I was like, 2 points is not piling it on. And he's like, Oak State just muffed a punt. Look again. I'm like, okay. I looked at the score or the amount of time. I was like, you realize there's still a whole lot of football left to play? He's like, yeah, whatever. Guess who won that game? Oak State. And they covered the spread. Like I told them they would. I kind of wish that I had worked all day on Saturday, just because, I work in a sports book, and with how close I live and work to Kentucky, especially Louisville and University of Kentucky. Those two played in Louisville. I would have loved to have been at my sports book to see how everybody was reacting to the UK U of L game. I mean, it was not a close game by any means. UK beat the absolute crap out of Louisville.
So how many Louisville players do you think walked home that night?
The
whole team? They just ran suicides the whole way home?
Well, I mean, I don't know. They played in Louisville.
It makes it a little more realistic.
Okay, that was mean. And, I mean, we get a lot of UK fans at work. That's really interesting. Next week is mostly conference championships, and for those that aren't playing conference championships, it's meaningless games. So in college football news, Lincoln Riley is now going to be the head coach of USC. Because apparently he actually was not happy with the fact that Oklahoma is going to now be a part of the SEC. He doesn't want to be a part of any SEC school. I don't understand why. I don't know. But yeah, that was a little weird, because Saturday I had actually read an article that, he shut down rumors that he was supposedly going to LSU to replace Coach, who is leaving at the end of this year. He's actually not even going to coach. Coach O isn't going to coach the LSU bowl game, unfortunately. It's sad, but Coach O will be missed down in the bayou. So Riley shut those rumors down. And then all of a sudden today, it gets announced that he's going to SoCal. Like, what? Oh, snap. OU has lost 5-star QB and number 3 prospect Malachi Nelson, among 3 other Oklahoma decommits, following Lincoln Riley's move to USC. So let's see. Kobe McKenzie, Brandon Ennis, and Trayon Webb also decommitted from Oklahoma. So Michigan's up to number 2. So it's Georgia, Michigan, Cincinnati, Alabama, and Oak State in your top 5. So let's see. As far as the CFP goes, everybody's predicting that it's going to end up being Georgia and Michigan. And Cincinnati has to win next week in order to still be considered worthy of being in the playoffs. Which, I'm sorry, like, I feel Cincinnati has like more than proved their worth of being in the college football playoffs. Okay, they're not in a Power 5 conference, but they will be when they move to the Big 10. Or I'm sorry, not the Big 10, the Big 12. Like, can we stop with, oh, the Power 5 this, Power 5 that, blah, 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 and actually recognize other good teams? Like, Coastal Carolina was really good early on this season. They never cracked the top 10 in the rankings. So let's see. Let's bring my ESPN back up. I know we had some basketball today. Okay, Warriors beat the Clippers, Bucks beat Pacers, Celtics beat the Raptors, Grizzlies beat the Kings, and Lakers beat the Pistons. Interesting. So Philip is making food, and the sooner that he gets done with that, the faster we can get to week 12 recaps. Because I pretty much covered everything else. Hockey. The Devils are actually doing fairly decent. I'm proud of where we're at in the standings right now. You know, We missed one game with Ottawa. It was postponed because they had a COVID outbreak. That sucked. But hey, COVID's still a thing. It sucks. There's nothing we can do except keep doing, following the protocols and everything that has been set forth. Let's see. And then in the NBA, the Nets are at the top in the conference. Ha, ha, ha. But of course, I'm not going to constantly look at the standings because it is still very early in the season. Anything can happen. And that's the same thing with hockey. Now, football is a little different. We're going to be going into week 13 after tomorrow. Hey, Philip, you almost done? So, all right. So, we have the Chiefs and the Cards on a bye this week. I'm just going to go ahead and start without him. Thursday night games fell on Thanksgiving. So that meant got a triple header. And to kick everything off, we had Chicago and Detroit. Detroit almost won that game. And it was a last-second field goal by Chicago that won the game for the Bears. So heartbreaking. So that was literally the biggest heartbreak for me. Like, so sad. And that's my dogs being butts. Because they think, almost 1 o'clock in the morning is playtime. Because, again, it's a lab and a husky. And I think it's playtime. So, yeah. Let me see. Get another window pulled up so I can look at stats and stuff. I mean, that would be a fabulous idea. Okay, part 1 of the podcast has ended, so I'm going to have to do part 2. All right, and part 2. So, let's see. All right, NFL. And scores. No, just kidding. Schedule. Okay, so like I said, Chicago and Detroit kicked everything off because they had it was 12:30, 4:30, and then 8:20, whatever. Link. Sorry, puppy. Let's go, pup. Hey, get down. Okay, I guess you guys are gonna see the puppy. Yeah. So, you finally joined. That's long enough.
Made myself a pity meal.
Okay, hurry up so we can start talking. All right. So first up is the Chicago game.
Is that Chicago and Steelers?
No, Chicago and Detroit.
Oh, this week.
Yeah, we're on week 12 now. That was a heartbreaking game. It was literally,
So close to another win.
yeah, it was a last-second field goal.
Bears and Cowboys. Who team? Also heartbreaking.
Meh,
Well, if you're a fan of one of those of the Cowboys.
meh. Why'd you move on to the Raiders already? Like, I literally pulled up Chicago and Detroit so we can talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Like, so, and, you know, Andy started the game because Justin Fields is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I still stand behind that. Hey! Husker Pup. Both of you, get down. I still stand behind what I said about Andy Dalton. He is being a great team player despite the cards he's been dealt. Good job not closing this.
I didn't close it because it was so hard to open.
It's not hard to open.
I can get it open.
We can. Towel would be nice. So it was 24 of 39, 317 yards, 1 tutty, and an INT. Which, I mean, you know, obviously he's not always taken the QB1 reps in practice because he hasn't been QB1 all season.
That's not true. He started off as QB1.
Yes. I know he started as QB1. But then he got injured, and then Fields was made QB1, and Fields has been QB1 for the remainder of the season, and then Fields got hurt. So, you know, he hasn't been taking the QB1 snaps for a good majority of the season. So for not taking all those snaps that he normally would as a starter, I'd say that those numbers are really good. Oh boy. Goff.
Good percentage, but just nothing to show for it.
Yeah. Goff was 21 of 25, only 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I've said Andy had one each, 1 touchdown, one tutty. So let's see. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of moving around at the moment. All right. And we're back. Okay, where's my ESPN thing? Where's my ESPN? There it is. Okay. Let's see. I don't want that. Okay, so yeah. Next game. Now we'll talk about the Raiders and Cowboys. All right. That game went into OT. That one literally was like tit for tat on score.
And stats.
Oh my cat. Should have started Dak in fantasy compared to Cam this week. Let's see. Carr was 24 of 39, 373 yards, and only 1 touchdown. Dak was 32 of 47, 375 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Nearly identical play from both players.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I mean, obviously, as a Giants fan, I'm content with the fact that the Raiders won in Dallas on Thanksgiving.
How about them Cowboys?
And Bills and Saints. Oh, buddy.
It's a close one.
Yeah. Okay. 25-point difference.
25? Yeah.
I can math. So Allen, 23 of 28, 260. 4 touchdowns, 2 ints. Simeon, 17 of 29, 163, 1 tutty, 1 int. Who's the backup for Simeon?
Some guy named Blake.
All right. So Cincy beat the brakes off of the Steelers, and at one point in the game, the Steelers intercepted the Bengals, and like almost instantly the Bengals intercepted and ran it back for a touchdown, and I'm just like, what? Instant karma. It was great. I mean, I was honestly surprised that the book was not full of Bengals fans today. But I mean, it's still Thanksgiving weekend, so people are like still traveling home from the holiday weekend. So let's see. Let's do our quarterback comparison now. Meow, 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 meow. Hey, Mixon runs for a career high 165.
Who's Evans, man? He's everywhere.
Let's see. Big Ben, 24 of 41, 263. 1 tutty, 2 ints. Burrow, 20 of 24, 190, 1 touchdown, 1 int. Tampa Bay and the Colts. At one point in this game, the Bucs were down by 10 points. And they literally rallied to win this game. It was crazy. I was like, what is going on right now? So Brady, 25 of 34, 260 or 260, jeez. 226, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Mr. Bum, aka Carson Wentz, 27 of 44, 306, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I guess those are decent numbers for him. What?
True.
Come on, Mr. Commentary. Where's the commentary?
Man, Wentz threw 44 times. Probably more than that. I can't count on these.
Shoot. Fournette had 4 rushing touchdowns. So that did good for me in fantasy.
3 rushing touchdowns.
He scored 4 times.
What was a reception?
Oh. Well, shit. Either way.
Yeah.
He had 4 touchdowns. I don't care. So he has 17 carries, 100 yards for 3 rushing touchdowns. Receiving,
7 receptions for 31 yards and a tutty.
Nice. Okay, next game. Miami and Carolina. I don't even want to do a quarterback comparison on that one. Like, I really don't. I just, I'm really shocked that Miami beat Carolina. And
Well,
Cam got benched.
Yeah, because he was 5 for 21 with 2 ints. And his backup was 5 for 10 with 1 int.
Oof.
That's why they lost.
I mean, apparently Tua had 230 passing yards.
On 27 attempts.
Yeah.
Completions. They had just over 50 rushing yards on Tampa or on Carolina.
All right. So, next game. New England, Tennessee. That game was to be expected, honestly. I mean,
Dontrell will come back and lead you.
Mac Jones, total stud.
Ryan Tannehill, bum. 93 yards, 11 completions.
Yeah. Yeah. This Giants-Eagles game.
The Patriots have more rushing yards than the Titans have passing.
Yeah, I think that the
Titans had 2 rushers for over 100 yards apiece.
wow. I honestly think that the Patriots are going to definitely make their case to like push for the number 1 seed.
I think they have it.
Mm-mm. Or they.
And they had the tiebreaker over the Titans. They're aiming for. They're the only ones right now aiming for.
Titans are 8-4.
They just beat the Titans. They're ahead of the Titans. So right now, Patriots are on top of the AFC.
Let's open up the standings. Baltimore holds the number 1 seed.
The Patriots not have had a bye week yet. Because they're 8-3. So he's played 11 games, and they played 12.
Yeah, because the bye weeks end on week 14. Patriots will have their bye week on week 14. Okay, so Baltimore if the all right, Baltimore has the number 1 seed. New England number 2 wins tiebreaker over Tennessee based on head-to-head win percentage. Tennessee number 3, Kansas City number 4, Bengals number 5. They win tiebreaker over Buffalo. Los Angeles number 7. So what? It's 7 spots for the playoffs this year?
Yeah.
So basically it's Chargers, Raiders, Broncos, all tied right here, but the Chargers win the tiebreaker. In the NFC, you've got Cardinals, Packers, Bucks, Cowboys, Rams, Niners. And then Vikings, Falcons, Saints, all tied, but Vikings hold the tiebreaker over the Falcons, and the Falcons hold the tiebreaker over the Saints. This Giants game killed me. Like 2 touchdowns were scored and 2 field goals were scored.
Mm-hmm.
It was 3-0 until the third quarter.
Yeah, it was 10-0.
I was like, really? What the hell is going on? I mean, they retired Michael Strahan's number, so no Giant will ever wear 92 ever again. And if the Giants had lost this game, yeah, fans would have rioted.
Oh, Jalen Hurts is 14-31.
129 yards, 3 INTs.
Yeah.
Jones wasn't really that much better. He was 19 for 30, 202, and a touchdown.
Yeah, but you put points up, so.
Yeah.
Surprised Jalen Hurts is even in the game for that long.
Hurts also had 8 carries for 77 yards.
Ooh, that hurts.
I mean, Jones also, let's see, full box score. Barkley was targeted 5 times on receptions. He only missed 1. Ugh. Out of 29 targets, 19 receptions. So let's see. Jones, 9 carries for 30 yards. His longest was 14. So he did his part as well. Both quarterbacks did their part for their teams. Sadly, it was not the best effort on either side. Atlanta and Jacksonville. Yeah, let's look at that quarterback comparison between Matt Ryan and Trevor Lawrence. Because Jacksonville almost came back. Matty Ryan was 19 of 29 for 190. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Trevor Lawrence, 23-42 for 228. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not doing a quarterback comparison on the Jets and Texans. That's just that game was laughable. Let's see. Denver and the Chargers. Nope.
Looks like it was a defensive score.
Yeah. Yeah, with Green Bay, Colton and I had some good laughs because Joe Buck made some jokes about Aaron Rodgers, and they were funny. It's like you want to hate Joe Buck, but then he goes and cracks one about Aaron Rodgers, and you just can't help but laugh. It was great. Called him Mr. Toe. And then they proceeded to show the photo that got shown all over Twitter from the Pat McAfee show. The San Francisco, Minnesota. Huh. I guess Baker threw more than Lamar. Huh.
Threw a lot more than Lamar.
18 of 37 for 247.
Yeah.
20 for 32 for 165. 1 INT and 4 interceptions. I've never seen a single Ravens game where Lamar has thrown more than 1 interception.
I haven't seen a game where a quarterback throws 4 interceptions and wins.
True. So now our questions.
Well, we're not over with this week yet.
We'll do Monday night when I get home tomorrow from work. So far, what is the biggest upset for you?
Browns. A team did not give them a chance to win.
Okay, biggest surprise?
Raiders. Or no, sorry, Steelers game. That's the biggest surprise.
Because of the score.
Yeah.
Yeah. No surprise?
Packers.
Bad football or just bad calls? Or both?
It depends on the game, but the ones I watched. At least for the Browns, it was bad, just bad football.
Biggest heartbreak.
Mm,
Detroit.
yeah.
There were quite a few injuries all throughout the week. The week. So far, what's your biggest takeaway from all these games?
Still really don't know anything about these teams.
In terms of what?
Well, it makes predicting next week that much harder.
Well,
because you got the Jets beating the Texans.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't have happened. I mean, the Jaguars were in it. Titans, who have been dominating the past 2 weeks, laid an egg. Dolphins dismantled the Panthers. Bills, who were coming off a bad win. Maybe. Yeah. Coming off a bad game just to dismantle the Saints. You know, Raiders, there's no reason for them to be even winning at this point.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Eagles have been putting up a bunch of points these past 2 weeks, and then just doesn't.
Okay, yeah, he's right about that.
So it's like this is more flip flopping, and this is probably the most flip floppy season I've ever seen.
True that.
I mean, not even like I don't even think that the Chiefs coming into the season were like, you know, the golden egg on the pedestal. You know, everyone wants to look at the Fabergé egg, and then now it's just like, well, actually paper mache.
Yeah. All right, so let's do our picks and okay. So for tomorrow night, we both have the Sea Chickens beating the team with no name.
You think they rode in on a horse with no name too?
Somebody save me. I can't with him. I swear to God, I can't.
You signed up for this.
Sometimes I wonder why.
Some funny.
Okay, so week 13. Thursday night is Cowboys and Saints. I'm taking the Saints because you will rarely ever see me take Cowboys unless they're playing Philadelphia. Dummy over here is taking the Cowboys. Starting with the Sunday 1 o'clock games, we've got Bucks and Falcons. We're both taking the Bucks. Cardinals and Bears, both taking the Cardinals. Chargers and Bengals, he's taking the Chargers. I'm taking the Bengals, which is weird because I'm not even a Bengals fan.
No, you're an LSU fan. You like Joe Burrow.
I also like good football. Anyway, Vikings and Lions, we're both taking the Vikings because giving up hope with the Lions. Sorry. Maybe next season, guys.
At least they're not going 0-17.
Yeah, because they got the tie.
It's half a win, but without the gratitude.
Broncos and Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs. He's taking the Broncos.
Sorry.
Giants and Dolphins. Obviously. Giants. And he's taking the Giants too, if he knows what's good for him. Eagles and Jets. I'm taking the Jets for obvious reasons, even though I know there's a good chance they will probably lose.
Or they are the worst team that currently occupies MetLife Stadium.
And he's taking the Pigeons. I mean, the Eagles. Colts and Texans, we're both taking the Colts. Washington and the Raiders, we're both taking the Raiders. Jags and Rams, both taking the Rams. Ravens and Steelers, both taking the Dirty Birds. Rams.
Ratbirds.
The Ravens. Sunday Night Football, Niners and Seahawks. We're both taking the Niners.
Sunday night's Broncos and Chiefs. 20.
Oh. I missed that then. Oops. Wait. Wait, for week 13?
Yeah. Cornell Seahawks at 425.
Oh, okay. So actually, what had happened was the Niners and Seahawks was the original Sunday night game.
Okay, flexed.
Yep. So.
You didn't mess up. The NFL just changes answers.
Yeah. So. And then Monday night, Patriots and Bills. We're both taking the Bills. And then we've got Browns, Packers, Titans, Panthers, all on a bye. So both of his teams are on a bye, and it really fucks up his fantasy.
Not really. I have backups.
You pitched over half of the first half of the season.
Yeah, and I figured it out.
You deserve that. So, I think that's where we're going to end things tonight. We'll be back with Monday night tomorrow when I get home from work. So, yeah. Thanks for joining us.